Hey, let's bring on Diamondbacks ace Zac Gallen joins us right now. Zac, how you doing? Apologize, dude. I didn't know you were there. I'm in the wrong. I'm talking to too many people in the group chat who have some questions for you coming up. But how you doing, dude? And how's the season going for you guys?
I'm doing well. How about you guys? Yeah, I had a front row seat to that. Whatever was going on there, I caught the end of it. So, but I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
I'm assuming that B. I mean, you must be represented by Scott Boras, maybe.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize that. I threw that on to go get some coffee today, and then yeah, just had the sweatshirt on. But yeah, I am.
That's a humble brag, right? Because you're at the coffee store, you're at Starbucks, and you're just hoping some random person's like, "Hey, I know that B. That's Scott Boras. Oh, you must be a Diamondbacks player."
No, not even close. I don't even get out of my car. I go through the drive-through.
Do they ever misspell your name when they write it on your cup, or because it's a drive-through, they don't write your name on the cup?
Let's check. Yeah, no name on the cup, but that always, because I'm ZAC, so it's either H or K. It's never C, unless they ask, and I tell them ZAC. But yeah, if they don't ask, it's always misspelled.
What's the order there? Because that looked like a lot of color in that cup. It's not black coffee.
I got a grande iced chai tea latte with 2 shots of espresso.
Okay. Not too bad. Not too bad.
Can we ask him about Ace?
Go ahead. You're the one that has the problem.
So we had a big debate earlier, and a lot of people were talking about it. What is your definition of an ace? Do you feel like you're an ace? And who are some other aces in the league that come to mind?
My definition of an ace is the guy that's pitching that day. He's got the one next to his name on the lineup card. And that like perspective kind of started when I was younger, and I was getting a lot of scouting reports on me saying, you know, he's a 4 or 5 starter, you know, back end rotation guy. And I kind of thought it was like, you're the ace that day. You're pitching. You're the guy who has the ball. You're starting the game. So yeah, I mean, whoever's got the ball that day, that's the ace in my opinion. But in terms of the industry term, I think you got to go with the Verlanders, the Scherzers, the Kershaws. You know, like that guy that you're going out there that's starting opening day, that's starting game 1 of a, you know, playoff series for you is probably your prototypical ace, I guess you could say.
How do you do?
Okay. I mean, you know, he gave the typical pitcher answer. Oh, whoever's got the ball that day is the ace. I get it. That's how pitchers think. They think different than the normal people. It's cool.
It's cool. Yeah, you were their best friends.
What's your definition of an ace?
So we just had this huge debate, Zach, because Scott's like, there's 37 aces in Major League Baseball. Let me count them all.
I said
everybody gets an ace card. Okay?
Shut up. 15 to 20, I said, Zach. And they were like, there's 8 to 10. And I'm like, you guys are way too strict. That's like the Hall of Fame voters that are voting in like one dude every few years. I'm like, you're way too strict.
Okay, but so obviously, Zach, you came up, and Eric and I said you're on the verge of it, but you haven't done it for long enough yet, right? Because you had your breakout year last year, finished second in the Cy Young, and you have the stuff, and you have the trajectory to go up and up and up and up and up, right? So you're on the verge. But when you talk about an ace for Eric and I, and Scott, his opinion doesn't count, it's if I have to win one game, and you've proven it to me over a period of 3, 4, 5 years that you can win that game, then you are my ace. So, and I look back on history, I say, CC Sabathia, he's going to win that game, right? Roy Halladay is going to win that game. Kershaw, Verlander, Scherzer, the guys you said, right? So there's guys that are on the cusp of it. Zac Gallen, I mean, he's one of the best guys going right now. Who's another one? Sandy, even Sandy, throw Sandy in there. He's right there, but then is there that next step, which they have in them? And if they take it, then I'm happy, Zach, to say, hey, you're my ace.
I think, yeah, I could agree with that. There's degrees to it, I think. I think when you look at now, just like the base term of the ace is like, okay, who's the number 1 guy on your staff? That's your like ace. But in the sense of like the true form of ace, I would agree. I mean, it's that guy that you're like, all right, this is a must win. We have to win this game. This is a wild card, you know, win or go home. You know, game 7 of whatever round it is. That's the guy you want on the mound. I think there's varying degrees of it though. But I could agree with all facets of it, really.
Now, are you a Wawa guy?
Yeah, I am a Wawa guy, big time. I was more so when I was like home. I mean, I haven't really spent that much time at home now. But yeah, I was a big Wawa guy. Big Italian hoagie from Wawa, little sweet tea, and some Hers salt and vinegar chips.
Yeah, you gotta get them all in there. So does that make you? Were you a Phillies fan then, growing up, or was that
No,
not your thing?
I was a Cardinals fan. I grew up. McGuire was on TV hitting a home run at night, so I was like, I want to be Mark McGuire as a kid. Wore 25. And the Cardinals were good too, so it kind of worked out perfectly. The Phillies weren't very good when I was kind of growing up. So it was great. All my friends are Phillies fans. Cardinals were good. Felt like they were, playing in the playoffs every year, so I got to kind of, ride that high with the Cardinals. And then just stuck with the Cardinals until I realized baseball was gonna soon become a business.
Yeah, so they traded you. Like, he gone. Like, now all of a sudden you can't be a Cardinals fan anymore. Walk us through that trade and like what that puts in your mind.
Yeah, that trade. Long story short, the Cardinals had. Well, I guess I don't know how sure I can make it, but the Cardinals do, I guess, winter camps in the off season, and there was one in like October, one in November, and one in December. The October one was like the first week. We just got done with the AAA playoffs. I was exhausted, and like for a 10-day turnaround, I just was like, I'm not gonna be able to make it. November, a buddy was getting married, so I couldn't make it then. And then December, they made this big deal about me coming down to the camp. I go down to the camp. At the end, the exit meeting, it was like, I don't even know. All these guys were already in there doing their routine or whatever. I get the exit meeting. They're like, yeah, you really didn't have to be here. Thanks for coming down, though. So they made this whole big stink about me coming down. And on the way home, they traded me in the Charlotte airport on the connector. I got the text, was like, yeah, you got traded to Miami. So I guess they weren't too happy about me not wanting to go to the winter workout camp, and they traded me.
You think that's why they traded you? Because you didn't go to a winter workout camp?
I don't
think
know.
It was because they just were like, hey, we like Marcell Ozuna is going to climb a wall to try to rob a home run that bounces on the warning track a couple times.
I don't know. If you know the Cardinals, they got their certain ways about how they go about some things. And I don't think they loved the fact that I kind of was – I mean, listen, I'm not saying don't go to camps for all minor leaguers out there, but my thought was like, I just got done playing the season, and I'm going to handle my business in the offseason, and you're not paying me in the offseason. So it's like I can't make the camp, and I got down there. It was a weird vibe, really, honestly. It was like we kind of got to the point where it was like, all right, we'll kind of compromise with you, and all right, I'll go for 2 days. And I thought, I was like, all right, I'll go down to Jupiter. It'll be nice. The weather will be great. Like, but mind you, I wasn't throwing yet. I was probably in about a month into my workout plan, and just like went down there. It was 40 degrees. Didn't play catch. Just kind of watched a lot of those guys do that stuff. It was like just being there and doing like some testing and whatnot. So yeah, it was an interesting 72 hours, I could say, for sure.
So essentially, the Cardinals were trying to make you go to like all these travel teams have to in high school, or think they have to in high school. Like, hey, come down and run a sprint when you haven't run any sprints. Like, what you're saying is like super great for youth sports. Like, it's okay to not like bend the knee as long as what you said, you're getting your work in.
Yeah, like I'm handling my business. So it's like, and that's the thing. Like, now maybe I wasn't in the org long enough for them to understand that. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, I just every offseason handling my business, doing my workouts, just like taking my process the way I've been doing it since even in college. And I'm like, I've had success in college, so like what I've been doing clearly works. But it wasn't good enough for them, so then they they shipped me out. I remember sitting in the Palm Beach airport too, with a bunch of the other guys. We all kind of had flights around the same time. And Sandy's name was the name that was up. It was Cardinals are getting Marcell Ozuna for Sandy and rumored to be 3 more prospects. And we all kind of looked at each other like, man, that sucks to be one of those guys. And then sure enough, it was me. I had a connector in Charlotte. And before I even touched down, like my phone, I didn't turn it off, wasn't on airplane mode. So like we're probably maybe 100 feet above the ground. And my phone just started like going off the hook. And I'm like, that's weird. That's not good. And I got a call from one of the guys at Boris. It was a voice. I let it go to voicemail because I just wanted to hear because I was on the plane still, and I hear it, and it's like, hey, I'm sure you saw the news. And before I contacted anyone, I went on Twitter to see what was going on. I searched my name, and sure enough, it was like traded. And I had a lot of people reach out saying, they were kind of, I don't know if sympathizing is the right word, but they knew I was a Cardinals fan. So, and, they were kind of like, hey, it'll be all right. But at that point in time, like I wasn't really a fan anymore anyway. Like I quickly saw the business side of baseball. And it was a business really.
Cardinals fans are absolutely devastated. Trust me, from someone who consumes way too much content and takes questions from fans and all of that. And trust me, just like you, especially in hindsight, looking back going, wait, Alcantara and Gallen in the same deal? That's historic. Seriously, I'm with you, though. That's wild. I was shocked just like you, and it just looks crazier and crazier the more that you're separated from it,
Yeah, I mean, don't forget about the other 2 guys. Like Max Sierra and Daniel Castano also are traded 4 big leaguers for one guy. So it's like, yeah, the math the math isn't adding up on that one, if you ask me.
The Cardinals have made some. I mean, they traded Randy for Livator and traded Randy Arozarena.
Trust me, that's why there's Cardinals fans are freaking out right now. So
I played with all
and they're
those
in last
guys.
place too.
All those guys. Sandy, I played with. Obviously St. Louis and Miami. I played with Randy in High A that year. I played with Adolis Garcia in Double A that year. So I saw all those guys being like, these guys are legit, and just never really got the opportunity to play. Just there. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Cardinals had like a lot of like high level prospects at the upper level. So those guys were just kind of blocked. But I remember seeing those guys being like, yeah, these guys are unbelievable. I haven't seen anything like it. And they moved them, and those guys got opportunities to play. And you see what they're doing with their opportunities now.
You think there's a reason they moved all you guys, or do you think they really because you got to leave players open. You can't just be like, yeah, we want Marcell Ozuna. Go ahead and pick whoever you want. They're putting Zac Gallen's name in. They're putting Sandy Alcantara's name in a hat. And then they're saying, okay, well, we want to pick from these 3 guys. Why do you think the Cardinals got rid of you guys? Because you're talking about, you know what? I really didn't want to show up for their eyewash camp that they invited me to.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. That's the trade that I was in. That's kind of how I heard it was. It was set in 3 tiers. There was a tier 1, which would have been Sandy, and then tier 2 was like the rest of us really, and then the 3rd tier, like. That was how it was described to me. So the Marlins, I think, just kind of picked who they wanted. And from what I understand, like there was only like 2, maybe 3 guys that were like untouchable at that point in time. And now this could be totally wrong, but that's just how I heard it. And I think it was more so the Marlins were like, yeah, like we'll take this guy, this, and this. I don't know why they'd want to move us. Like me growing up a Cardinals fan, I kind of saw how their pitching was molded. It was for the most part college performers that like knew how to pitch, like kind of pitch to contact. So like I'm like, all right, I'm right in the sweet spot of what they're looking for as a pitcher. But not to say I would have been untouchable at the time. I mean, I'd only spent a year and a half in their organization and in pro ball. So like it's kind of we're not really sure what we're going to get out of them. But yeah, so I don't know. It's probably didn't fit into the Cardinal way as you guys, hear about and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, thankfully it worked out the way it did. I'm happy where I'm at in Arizona for sure.
That's what I was going to say, dude. Look where you're at now. I mean, life is good. You're pitching well. You're on a super competitive ball club right now this season. So I wanted to know on the other side of this, as we've talked about you a lot, and not only want to get your name out there, but your personality, which is important. And that's what we're doing on this show. Guys that can really talk the game and just also have real conversations. Scherzer's on here a lot, and Musgrove the other day. Someone like you came to mind as well. On the other side of that, for awards balloting, I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago, there was a story out and you were talking about things that motivate you and kind of being under the radar, whether it has to do with you being young in your career or pitching in Arizona. Do you pitch with a chip on your shoulder based on like Cy Young results?
Yeah, that's just Cy Young results is just another like topic on the ice cream, I guess you could say. Being from the Northeast, I've always had a chip on my shoulder. It's like that's just kind of the way.
Dude, don't even hold on. Don't even
stop
start
him.
with the Jersey.
Stop. Let him
I'm
go.
from Jersey.
That's right.
I got Scott from Jersey. I got Kratz from Jersey. I got Todd Frazier. Stop with the Jersey. Now go ahead.
You talk enough on this show. Let him go.
Oh, I don't want to hear
That's
the Jersey.
right.
Chip on my shoulder.
This is the thing. In New Jersey, you grow up and you hear, oh, you guys only get to play 6 months of the year. You're going to go to Georgia and Florida and play these guys that, play all year round and whatnot. And it's like, all right, fine. It's so like, you just kind of have to prove. I guess the thing in Jersey is like, almost put your money where your mouth is. So it's like, you always have this chip on your shoulder. It's like, all right, I'm going to prove you. I'm going to prove you wrong. So yeah, that's kind of how I've always been, but just adding fuel to the fire, bulletin board material, whatever it is. So yeah, am I consciously thinking about who left me off the ballot when I'm out there? No. But when I need that, maybe that extra 1% that day or whatever it is, it's definitely not far out of my thought process for sure. I got a screenshot on my phone. It's in my photo album for sure.
Wow. Okay.
I love that. That's
Who
good.
Who
Who
voted,
voted for him?
You want me to check? I could find it. Let's see.
Hell yeah.
right.
That's
Let me
what this
see.
is for. Because I read, and I love that, because like you got to have your motivations. I was reading the article the other day and said I'm always vindictive, looking for a way to provide some revenge. It's good shit. You had a chip from stuff.
Always. Yeah,
Always.
but I wasn't from Jersey, so I can't say that.
Oh, stop. Let him find, because that's the
I'm
good
all
stuff.
for it.
What was your chip while he's
I
looking for
hated
it?
everybody I played against.
Boom. That's a big chip.
Yeah.
All right.
That's really
I
good.
don't know. I don't know if I want to go.
You can get.
I don't know if I'll name names, but I'll
Okay.
say where the writers are from. There's
Then we can pick them out.
yeah, you could probably pick them out. There's 2 writers in Chicago who didn't give me a vote. Let's see. There's a writer in LA that looks like didn't give me a vote. I can't even say writer. A writer in 2 writers in Miami didn't give me a vote. New York. Let's see. Pittsburgh.
Not even a vote.
There's like 10
right?
of them. I have the whole list so I can see who did vote for me. Where I like the results, and then I saw who didn't vote for me. But yeah, there's a few ballots with my name not on it.
Why do you think that is? Because also, just to inform everyone, is it 5 or 10 you get for Cy to put on the ballot? Is it
5?
Your top 5?
Yeah.
So those are people that didn't put you in their top 5. Why do you think that is? Because obviously, numbers wise, and I can throw a few things out there, that wasn't necessarily the case, and it's tough. I mean, you're a writer, you're covering one team. That's why it's always weird. I'm not shitting on writers voting for things. I'm just saying it can be tough sometimes if you're covering a team that's not, in the division of the Diamondbacks, or obviously the Diamondbacks didn't make the playoffs that last year. That has nothing to do with the Cy Young Award, and maybe they just weren't paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, there's definitely like if I think it's hard when it comes to like the 4th and 5th place vote. Let's say you're in a city where you have an ace, a guy that's like a legit top of the line guy, and you get to see him more often than you would see me. Whether it's an American League city where you don't see me at all, or a National League city where you might see me once or twice, you might give the nod to that guy, and I get that for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the only other thing I can think of is that like I kind of had I went on a skid probably from end of May, middle of May to like June, middle of June, like right on getting close to the All-Star break. But yeah, my thought was like, all right, Sandy's going to win it. He, from wire to wire, this guy was going to win the Cy Young. He was the most dominant pitcher in the National League. And there was never a question of, getting that first place vote. But I definitely thought there was some valid reasons for getting either a fourth or a fifth place vote, for sure.
Yeah, they just don't see it enough, honestly.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line is teams outside of your division, writers, and shame on the writers on the West Coast in your division, in LA and San Diego, the ones that you said didn't vote for you, because that's just bad writing, and that's just not paying attention. For me, and look, I work on Fox. I've never done a Diamondbacks game. And we do games every Saturday. I've never done a Diamondbacks game. I've worked for them since 2016.
You need to request one.
I have, but 1 year in 2020, I was going to do one. We got COVID, and they said,
well,
not doing a Diamondbacks game.
I pitched a Fox game during COVID. I actually just saw the clip of it, and they had the fake fans in the outfield. I was like, I can't believe this is something that we went through. Like, that is just crazy. Just like virtual fans in the outfield. I was like, this is
I remember we had meetings. And they're like, we're going to show you something. What are you going to show us? We put fake fans in the outfield. What? And they were so proud of like the little, look like video game people in the outfield. It was great.
I thought it was cool. I thought it looked cool. I mean, I thought still doing that with the A's.
Oh my god!
Faking fans.
Oh my god!
They are.
I will say when people when people were buying the billboard, like not billboards, but like the cardboard cutouts of themselves and putting them up in the bleachers, like you could do whatever. I don't even know. There was a couple funny ones we found. Like somebody bought a cardboard cutout of Dave Portnoy. So like we're in San Francisco and just the food room they put out in the right field, whatever that kind of speakeasy is. So we walked out there and I'm walking and he's probably the cardboard cutout is probably 5 rows up. And I'm looking and I'm going, is that like Prez? Did he buy? And then you look on the thing and somebody else bought it. I like tweeted it out. He was like, that wasn't me. I didn't buy it. Like you'd find some funny like cardboard cutouts that people would send in. So you kind of have to make light of, the situation, but there was definitely some, character.
I had a couple of those now.
What, the cutouts?
Yeah,
the cutouts were awesome. I remember because
I have mine in here. One of them they sent me.
The coolest thing was because I would be at ballparks sometimes, going and just like chilling with the cutouts and taking pictures. Those are some of my favorite pictures. Like playoffs too, where you were, Kratzy. I was 2020. No wait, never mind. I was in Houston. At least for part of it for 2020 playoffs, and I'm there, and it's full of cutouts, and I'm just chilling with the cutouts, taking pictures. It was awesome. Wait, I want to ask you though, because we're going over. Hey, like people need to see you more. So, how does Corbin Carroll get himself a Rookie of the Year if he keeps this shit up too?
I think Corbin Carroll has the press already kind of in tune to him. I think it helps being the I think he was number 1 prospect, number 2 prospect in baseball. I think a lot of people were already kind of aware of who Corbin is. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be a struggle for sure. I mean, you get a guy, playing in a bigger market that's having a really good year. You're going to have a lot of the national kind of notoriety to that guy. But Corbin's an unbelievable player. I mean, the way he goes about his business, just as a young guy, just the way he studies the game, the way he's just trying to, everything you hear about a true professional, he's doing it at a very young age. So for him to be the number 1 prospect, number 2, whatever, I don't even know what the rankings are. Like, it didn't surprise me once I got to know him. You see the talent. The talent's easy to see. The stuff that people don't see is kind of that desire to be great, really. So I think he keeps doing what he's doing. I don't really think he's going to have a problem winning the Rookie of the Year.
So you're from Jersey, probably like 35, 40 minutes from where Trout grew up, right?
Yeah. So I would say I'd say 30 to 45 minutes. I'm like
everything
right
there's.
Yeah.
Everything there's 30, 45.
Exactly. Especially in South Jersey. It's like, at most, it's like an hour and 15 to the beach. you know, we're not far from where Millville, where Trout's from.
Yeah, so it shows how long you've been gone. Like, it's the shore, it's not the beach.
Yeah, you
go
said
to the
beach.
shore.
I'm Jersey too, Zach. It's
I know.
short.
I'm just saying for everybody else, like, hey, like the beach. You know what I mean? I know we don't have a lot of Jersey listeners maybe out there, so the beach, but the shore. Plus, the other problem is you say the shore, and then people go, they think of Jersey like seaside. It's like no. I'm talking about North Wildwood. I'm talking about Cape May. I'm talking about Ocean City. Like that's the
Ocean
shore.
City. That's where.
Yeah, like
Ocean
I'm a North
City.
Wildwood. My dad has a house in North Wildwood, so that's where I went as a kid. But yeah.
You coming down to Florida? We'll show you. You were in Miami. You know what beaches look like. They ain't look like that.
I'm taking AJ.
Shore.
I'm taking AJ to Seaside. That's the post-prom spot. Zach knows. That's where they took us post-prom.
That was
anything goes. It's ridiculous.
We went to Wildwood. That was our spot. But funny enough, there was two girls that were in my high school class actually got married. Speaking of Seaside, or not married. Sorry, they had their Sweet 16 at the Jersey Shore house, like where they filmed the show. Yeah, I was like, I didn't go. I think we had like a game or something during I didn't go, but there was some kids in our class that went and said, yeah, it was pretty wild for sure.
Yeah.
So is Trout going to invite you to his golf course once that thing opens?
I would love to be invited. I honestly haven't. I met Mike one time. We played for the same travel team. So the class, my graduating high school class was probably the first full, from Little League to kind of high school team that went through the whole program. Everybody was kind of started at 13 or 14 or whatever. So they had a whole big signing day for us. And then they retired Mike's travel jersey, his number 1. So he was there. And I mean, we really didn't talk that much. So I haven't had a chance to talk to Trout since that point in time. So maybe when I see him, I'll be like, hey, would you mind throwing me a sympathy invite to Trout National? So we'll see.
That looks good. How's this swing?
Hoodie? All right, I like it. You wear hoodies when you golf. Okay, yeah. We can golf.
That's my
together.
buddy Marty right there. My buddy Marty, he's a pro golfer, so we'll go out sometimes, have him give me a little tips here and there, just so I'm not losing too much money to some of the guys on the team.
That's good stuff. Hey, I have one more before we let you jump, because I want to make sure you tell this story, because I know these guys will appreciate it. Can you explain the 3-0 game that you played growing up?
Oh, the 3, yeah, with my dad when I was a kid. Yeah. So as every kid's dream, we lived across the field from every kid that plays baseball. We lived across the street from the field that our Little League was at. So, I mean, you walk down our condo steps right across the street, we're right there. So it was every day. I mean, my brother's out there, he's playing with his friends. So I wanted to play with them too. But I'd have my dad throw me BP until the street lights basically went on. You can't really see the ball anymore. But one of the games we would play was 3-0, and the count would start 3-0, and I would have to try and throw 3 strikes, get back in the count, and whatever the quote unquote punishment was that day, whether it was push-ups or something along those lines, if I didn't throw 3 strikes in a row, kind of is where I started my just, it doesn't matter if you're down 3-0, you can still get yourself back into the count. Kind of that poise and that composure of, all right, you're behind the count, but make a pitch and make another pitch and make another pitch. So yeah, that was a game we played as a kid. It was, my dad, it was awesome. This is some of the best memories, out there taking BP, fielding ground balls, pitching, it was the best.
Wait, was your dad the umpire? Because if he just wanted you to do push-ups, you could call, hey, ball 4, sorry, Dad.
You could Joe West it.
Give me 25 push-ups.
He could. I mean, in theory, yeah, he was catching, so he could have called it. But I think my dad's is a straight shooter when it comes to that. It's even in Little League, I've told this story a few times that he always talks about you're the only one on that island out there when you're pitching. So if you're in a jam and he was the coach or whatever, he's like, I'm leaving you out there as long as it's safe in terms of pitch count and stuff like that. I'm not going to have you out there for, bazillion pitches. But if you're, it's not a super long inning and you got yourself in some trouble, don't look over here in the dugout. Like, I'm not coming out. I'm not coming to get you out. And, you know, like obviously take a mound visit here and there, you know, breather, but he's like, I'm not. This is your mess. You're gonna have to clean it up. So yeah, he was fair in that sense. It was. I'm sure probably the strike zone as I got a little older started to get a little bit tighter. But yeah, nothing crazy there that I remember.
That's good shit. I like that game. I know you respect that, Kratzy, because you're coaching right now. Play the 3-0 game with your squad.
We just don't get 3-0. We don't care. We don't care about pitching. We just want to hit dingers.
Yo, run this
Dingers
back with
and
them.
bat flips, right?
Hell yes. They're looking at bat flip videos. Zach, this was awesome, dude. Really appreciate having you on here for the first time. Obviously, this platform, this is fun for us to have you on. You're one of the guys that needs to get the personality that you've got. Like, we know the conversation's going on. So thanks, man.
Man,
Good luck. Love to have you back.
Hey, by the way, you went up a little bit.
For what?
For the ace talk.
The ace talk? Oh, AJ's strict ace qualifications.
Kratz agrees. He went
Get
up
off my lawn, ace talk.
Oh,
I respect it. I mean, these are guys that played a long time that you know caught some of the best pitchers this game has seen. So I respect it. I mean, they give me something to work for and just put you on the bulletin board. That's fine.
No, we just made his phone.
You're on the phone.
We're on the phone. Dang it!
Wait for the phone. Okay, go ahead now. Take a picture so you remember us.
Zach, have fun. We'll talk to you down the line, man. This was awesome. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you. Zac Gallen with us. That was awesome.